Good day, RGV. Today on Valley por Vida, we're breaking down the latest on actress Sandra Bullock, along with a peek at her film, The Unforgivable. We've got info on what's happening at the Museum of South Texas History, plus the life of a doctor and fun facts about the medical field. So let's dive right in. The show starts right now. Hi there, and thanks again for joining us today. I'm your host, Danielle Banda, and today we're starting off the show with an exciting peek into Hollywood actress Sandra Bullock's film, The Unforgivable. Take a look.
You're gonna pay for what you did.
Being comfortable to sit in that skin in someone's story who was judged and looked at, or barely seen, disliked.
I was in prison. I just got out. I was there for 20 years.
For what?
It caused so much pain for so many people, and then to ask why would that be something you would want to play? Because there's always two sides to every story.
It was an accident.
Does your release alter the terms of your no contact order?
You don't have to give me a speech. I'm looking for Katie. She's my little sister. I raised her.
A human family that never gets represented because they're born into poverty, they don't have the resources, and their life is basically set in stone from then on.
John, there's a woman in the front yard.
Can I help you with something?
You're a lawyer?
The audience needed to have the sense that we had an allegiance as husband and wife, that we were connected.
She did her time.
She killed somebody in cold blood. If that were any of your black sons who had been in the system, they would be dead.
Even though we disagreed about Sandra's character, you had to know that we were connected as a husband and wife.
I wonder all the time what she looks like, what she became.
Your life starts here now, not 20 years ago.
A large part of our society that makes up the fabric of America and other countries around the world often gets swept under the rug because they're not sexy enough.
You gotta be a convict wherever I go?
No, you're a cop killer everywhere you go.
Don't treat me like I don't exist! Tell her about me!
Once I got to speak with the women who let me in on their lives and their pain, I had such a responsibility to be truthful about it.
I was pretend this is about her.
Exactly, I was protecting her!
You are not a victim.
How long can we have the audience dislike this person?
I don't quit. Not on Katie.
And since history proves that we just love all things Sandra Bullock, we thought it'd be fun to dive into what the internet says are her top 5 movies of all time. According to ThroughTheClutter.com, The Blind Side, which was filmed in 2009, is a good film to start with, which definitely tugged on the heartstrings of so many. It says that it was a biographical sports drama about athlete Michael Orr and how he went from being homeless to a professional NFL player. With his adoptive mother, of course, played by Sandra Bullock, serving as a determined coach and a loving parent. It's a pretty good one as she learns, to tackle not only sports, but life in general. And the site says that The Proposal was Sandra's second biggest hit thus far, acting alongside professional thespian Ryan Reynolds. In this role, she played an executive editor-in-chief for a New York publisher who actually found out that she might be deported back to Canada for violating visa terms, and so she hatches a plan for a fake marriage, which of course ends up being pretty funny. It's a pretty funny plotline overall. And in 2000, she made an unforgettable film called Miss Congeniality, which of course turned into one of the greatest on her roster. The site says this one was about a terrorist who threatened to bomb the Miss United States beauty pageant, and so the FBI sent Sandra Bullock's character as an undercover agent, playing one of the contestants. Definitely a good one if you haven't seen it. And one filmed in 1995 was While You Were Sleeping. The site says this film was ranked number 4 on their list of Sandra's best films. In case you haven't seen this one, it's about a ticket seller who's got a secret crush on a passenger, and she ends up saving him, but with a whole lot of other complications arising, like a coma situation, and of course making it a good comedy / drama / romantic story. And lastly, the one you've been waiting for, her top 5 film, according to the site, to wrap it all up, is Speed, which was filmed in 1994. The site says this one is set in Los Angeles, and Sandra, acting alongside fellow Hollywood peer Keanu Reeves, gets involved in an accident where passengers have to be saved from a bus before a bomb goes off. It's crazy action-packed film, and it's definitely intriguing. And since we're talking about movies that are memorable, we thought we'd throw into the mix some exhibits that are also memorable. Fun learning opportunities. I'm talking about the Museum of South Texas History, and our team dropped by their Edinburgh location for all of the details.
The museum was chartered in 1967 when a few local people came together in response to what they felt was a need to preserve local history and present history and heritage culture of the South Texas region in northeastern Mexico. The museum opened its doors to the public at the old 1910 Hidalgo County Jail. So that the museum out of the jail was opened in April of 1970, so that it has a 52-year history. It is an important organization. It's a cultural and community-based nonprofit organization that has been nestled in this downtown in Edinburgh, Texas for the last half century. The museum has 4 permanent exhibits, and so one of them is called the River Frontier, which captures prehistory, a good amount of archaeological narratives, moves into Native history, Native American history. And so that is a large kind of span of 10,000 years, and moves into the age of colonization and the onset of ranching in this part of the world. So the River Frontier then moves into River Highway, and so part of what you see behind me is actually ranching in the 19th century, but also the pillar kind of icon of the 19th century in our exhibit is the steamboat. So that there was steamboat traffic up and down the Rio Grande, began in 1829, that did not cease until 1904. So that the steamboat not only is iconic in terms of the history, but it was also important in terms of commerce, movement of people, and kind of an emerging culture. And the third permanent exhibit is called River Crossroads. That is more of a 20th century exhibit. And the 4th permanent exhibit is a 1910 jail. And that is a bit of a civics lesson, but also it shows early 20th century history in South Texas. And it talks about the singular hanging in the 1910 jail, which was a hanging of 1913 of Abraham Ortiz. And so that's kind of a dramatic moment. And so those permanent exhibits then are kind of buffered by temporary spotlight exhibits that we have. Today, for example, we have 2 spotlight exhibits. One that's been up for a month that we call Bearing Witness, which is really capturing the moment of the pandemic of COVID-19. And so we have stories that we have narrated of people whose lives were taken by COVID-19.
We hope that you get a chance to check out one of their exhibits, but in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break and then look at your local weather updates. But stay tuned, because Valley Por Vida is going to be right back, and we'll introduce you to 2 students who recently graduated from a local college and who are now thriving in the medical field. We'll also talk about delicious carnival eats with an exciting Fun with Food segment. That info plus more when we return.